It's The Local Show on News Radio 570 WSYR, a service of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to The Local Show. It's the 2023 Pre Autumn Equinox Edition. That's fall for those of you who have any type of intelligence.
Yeah, what do you mean?
That's 1/3 of the audience. I'm your host, Tom Soccocio Jr., along with my friend and co-host, Steve Roberts. The Local Show features conversations about local businesses. We talk with the business owners, CFOs, CEOs, entrepreneurs, nonprofits, business advocates, and other business-friendly organizations. We learn how they got into business and why they do business right here in Syracuse, New York, and where their businesses might be going in the future. You'll hear all about their successes, challenges, opportunities, marketing, and advertising. We're broadcasting from the Zoey Advertising Studios, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. Steve, good morning. How are you, buddy?
I'm fine.
Good. You got through the fair okay? I saw you were over there quite a few times.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was good. Maple syrup did great. And we were doing photos and video and things for them, so they had to keep making samples that needed to be devoured by somebody. So, I offered,
Excellent. Well, we've got a great show planned for everybody, so we don't want to spend too much time because no one's interested in Steve. So let's get right to it. Matt Mallory will be coming up. He's the owner of Mallory Unlimited and PS and Ed. So, and then George Powers, owner of Powers Accounting. Jesse Lyons he's the farm coordinator over at Brady Farm. Lisa Romano Moore is the executive director of the Onondaga Historical Association. She's going to stop by and give us a history lesson. Josh Lang, pastor at Redeemer Church in Syracuse. Jennifer Covert is the executive director of North Area Meals on Wheels. And then Joe Bright wraps us up. He's the owner of Dunk and Bright Furniture. So good show and very interesting. You'll learn all about interesting things. Speaking of interesting, Matt Mallory decided to join us. How are you, Matt?
I am awesome. How are you guys?
Good. PS and Ed.
No, it's PMS Ed. I remember learning that. So what do you got?
Public safety and education.
That's it.
Oh, okay. I was thinking you should know.
Well, a lot of people know Matt as the gun guy, but you don't want to just be known as the gun guy, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing I'm known the most for around the country, the gun guy, I guess.
Yeah.
But we do have rentals, Airbnb, Verbo rentals, as well as a small hobby farm with a farm stand in Lafayette. So
I noticed that you brought some stickers in, too, for those people on our YouTube channel. We have ones of tens of people on our YouTube channel. And I don't know where the heck.
I'll hold it because you don't know where the cameras are.
Where they are.
There we go.
Yeah, all I know is they show my belly and my bald spot. So the cameras are here. No, the cameras.
I cover mine up and I suck mine in. So.
But these stickers are kind of cool. It's got Matt Mallory holding what looks to be a Tommy gun.
That is. It's actually the image that I sent to the graphic designer was me holding my Tommy gun.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm full Italian, so when I had my baptism, my uncles both had Tommy guns.
So why do they call it a Tommy gun?
It's a Chicago typewoodypper.
Ah, there you go. That's right. Yeah, I've heard of that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thompson machine gun.
Yeah. But I also see a, what do you call that thing? A beehive and a chicken. What's the significance?
It's a rooster, Tom, but that's okay.
Okay, well, it's a rooster, yes.
Actually, foghorn leghorn, right? Yeah. So I've got bees. I'm a beekeeper, as well as we have chickens.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Chickens and bees. I've had them about 15 years or so.
What do the bees and the chickens have to do with guns and,
sustainability,
safety
sustenance, right? I mean, it's... Yeah, food source.
So you eat the bees?
If I have to.
Yeah, right, if you had to. But are you raising them to sell, or is it just for yourself?
So, I mean, ultimately it's for us, but if we have excess, then we do sell it. Yeah, that's why we have a small farm stand. We don't do a lot of, local stores and such, but having the honey for our consumption, for our rentals, we put it up in the rentals. Anybody that stays in our places, we have a little bee skep there.
Have you taught the kids to kill the chickens yet?
Call the chickens? No. Our daughters named them all.
Oh, that's not good.
No, you can't name them.
That's a bad thing.
I know.
Have her name the bees.
Yeah.
I knew my wife and I were in trouble when we named the kids.
Oh,
And we couldn't sell them on eBay with a clean conscience.
oh Jesus.
Anyway, so what do you think about Biden masking up again, huh?
Oh, my goodness.
Isn't that nice? Protecting all of us. That's wonderful.
I make a joke when you go down to the range. 3 ways you can get lead into your system is absorption through your skin, largest organ in your body, inhalation, and the only way to protect from that is to wear a mask on the range. And then I just pause and look at the students, and they're like, they're confused.
Right.
I've never seen anybody with a mask on the range because you're out, usually not always, but outdoors. And
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Breathing in all that fresh air.
He's masking up because his wife, who's been vaccinated how many times? How many booster
75
shots?
times. Yes, right.
She's got COVID again?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
With very mild symptoms and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Just before school.
Well, the mask will keep him from getting it. We all know that. Sorry.
Even if he got it, though, he'd forget that he got it.
Let's talk gun safety. New York, anything changing? Because I know there was some that we talked to you a month or two ago, and the things were changing. What's going on?
For sure. So September 13th, they have the new background check for ammunition and antique firearms too. So you used to be able to get ammunition and firearms, antique firearms, I should say, without having to do a background check. You could literally have antique firearms, curio, and relics mailed right to you, like black powder. Now they're going to have you actually do a background check for that stuff and for ammunition. So New York State's taking over the background check process from us FFLs. I'm a Type 7 Class 2. And they're going to be processing it, charging us, which means we're going to pass that charge on to the client, and then they're going to end up doing the actual background check with the federal government. So they're basically putting themselves in the middle of it and charging a fee.
That sounds efficient.
Oh, that totally sounds.
Is this just in New York State or
other states do it? I think there's like 13 states that do their own.
What color are those states?
Well, I think Pennsylvania is one of them actually. So it is surprising, but New York is going to start doing it now. So now they're going to be, and they've already admitted that it's going to be. There's going to be issues. There's going to be hiccups in the road. With any new system, there's always hiccups, is how they proposed it. And they said it'll be people that'll actually buy a gun and ammo at the same time, and they'll pass the background check for the gun, because that goes through the federal government, but they'll fail the background check for the ammo. And they've admitted that will happen. That's just right.
So people are loading up on ammo right now.
Yeah, well, they should be reloading ammo too. And I've got a reloading course coming up
that's nice,
on the calendar. So if anybody wants to know how to reload or do bullet casting, we're also going to be doing that course too.
I had a friend who did that, and his whole basement was like an assembly line.
Yeah.
It seems like it's very detailed.
I used to do load shells with a friend when we were kids. It was kind of fun, actually. I thought it was fun.
I mean, it's fun. It's always a way to keep the government off your back. It's
right.
You got to be methodical with it.
So what do you have going on that someone could get involved in, or how can you help people right now?
Sure. So I do the 18-hour class, usually weekly. The next one I got coming up is Bass Pro in Auburn in a few weeks. I do it at Runnings in Clay as well, and then at my place in Lafayette. So those are the next 3 coming up at the end of the month. I also have Syracuse gun shows coming up next weekend, so I'll be there in the annex if anybody wants to stop by that. I've got a low light, no light shooting course coming up. If anybody wants to learn how to shoot in the dark using flashlights, we'll be doing that. It's coming up. That's on the calendar. And then also there's some other courses that I've created. It's called Make Art with Your AR. So you bring your AR rifle and you actually shoot some paint and exploding things.
Oh,
and
that's kind of cool.
Splatters on a canvas.
There's a guy on YouTube that did it with Bud Light, actually.
And really quickly, aside from the gun training, you have just regular how to keep safe training, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that type
I just
of stuff.
did a taser class, taser end user class. I also
Right.
do the taser instructor class,
Okay.
as well as pepper spray, end user and instructor, and then force on force for instructors and also end users to kind of mindset.
So a taser could be a good alternative to a gun without as many rules, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're still illegal in New York. They're becoming legal. They've got a bill going forward, which New York State government hasn't gotten off their butt and made law yet.
Okay.
But that is something that you got to check with your local DA. But yes, I teach the taser class.
MalloryUnlimited.com. It's all there. They can find out and connect with you, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Matt Mallory right there. Thank you, sir, for all you do.
Appreciate it.
Have a good day.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Coming up next, George Powers, owner of Powers Accounting. Stick around right here on the local show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
And we're back again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. It's always nice to have you along, even though we're going into fall. We don't like to talk too much about the fall, but
I hate
it's
the
here.
Fall,
My mums are
No,
up.
you know what? I don't
They're
hate the fall. I
staring
hate
at me.
winter. I hate what's behind the fall.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Well,
it's like
just
I don't hate the
movie.
dentist. I just hate what he does.
I don't mind, and I don't mind a good snowfall. It's that ugliness that ensues after the snow falls. So, you get the snow, and then it's just this, gooky, it's...
Does not having light affect you? Like, do
I
people
don't know if it
have-
does. I'm miserable all the time, so it's hard to tell.
That's fair. Yes, because not having light affects a lot of people.
Yeah.
Very much.
I think
Fall is
especially...
a beautiful season around here.
Yeah, the fall, the actual, what we're into now is...
If someone else
gorgeous.
talking hasn't been introduced yet, but we'll just let him talk.
Let him talk. First, because you got to tell us about Gettys Federal Savings and Loan.
Gettys Federal, they're rolling, they're there. CD rates are higher. So if you want to park some money somewhere, get a guaranteed return and do it over at Gettys. And they're rating mortgages. Get it locally. Get it at Gettys.com. Get it at Gettys.com. Wow.
That'd be
George, do this. George, do this for me. What is
Get
it?
it at Gettys.com.
Thank you, George.
Do I have to sing the tune too?
One of the best.
No, we have
co-hosts.
listeners.
Okay, sure.
It's funny with the .com thing. My wife was looking for a domain for another business of hers, and they got all the different domains.
Dots, yes.
Yeah, the dots. So what do you tell people, Steve, as a marketing professional? .com's still it, isn't
Correct.
it?
Correct. It's
No
like
matter how you slice it.
No, it's like the area code 315 in the area. But there's other ones.
Yeah.
but
But the industry's tried to change it. .biz, .online,
Wow.
.tv,
No, they have all those things, and I've seen some legitimate. Sites have some other things, but
But everybody goes for the .com,
no,
right?
Nope, no,
That's funny.
it's true.
Well, George Powers is with us. He's the owner of Powers Accounting, gpowers.com.
There we go, .com.
All right. How you doing there, George?
I'm doing super great.
Very nice. Now, as we head into the fall, anything going on tax-wise that people should know about small businesses?
They're probably going to be changing tax rules again, as they always do. We got two big deadlines coming up, September 15th and October 15th deadlines for folks that, if you have calendar year corporations, for S-Corps, extensions are due September 15th.
Stop looking at me. What? wait. S-Corps. Wait, keep going.
Keep going. October 15th is extension due date for individuals that haven't filed their taxes yet.
Yeah.
So
From
we got
last
those
year.
coming
Wait,
up.
from last year?
2022.
Wow.
Oh, so if someone's current, that's not a big deal.
Correct. Yeah. If you filed, you're done.
Okay.
That is, they also have estimated taxes that are due in September.
Okay.
So you might have to do that.
He's just for radio listeners. He slowed down and he looked at me and talked really slowly, making eye contact. I don't know. Just saying.
How many years have you been doing this type of business, taxes? and
Oh,
things?
too many years. 27. I think it'll be 28 this year.
28 years. Yeah, that's
I
wonderful.
had to remember that because I remember it because my son's 27 and I started the business just before he was born.
Yeah, that's always a nice time to start.
Yeah, when your wife's pregnant. I would not recommend that, guys. I'm going to start a business. I'm pregnant.
Or start, a month before COVID hit. That's a good.
Yeah.
There's people that did that, right? And you probably know that.
They did that. Actually, if you look at statistics, businesses that start up in the times like that, the worst
Rough
times,
times, yeah.
do better.
Yeah, sure.
Because they start out lean and mean. They never forget it. The businesses that many times have more problems is when they start out when things are great. Oh, this is always going to be like this. We're always going to make this kind of money. Things are always and then all of a sudden something happens and they don't. They're not prepared.
Yeah.
And that's what gets people. If you think the trouble is always around the next corner, you don't spend the extra money. You pay off your debt. You make sure that your business is running lean and mean. So if something happens, you're ready to weather the storm.
Now, small business, you deal mainly with small businesses, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, small businesses who feel like they can write the checks and do the payroll and all that, what do you say to them?
What do you mean?
Not to.
What do you mean? Do it themselves?
Yeah, do it themselves.
Well, you got to think about what do they want. Are they looking to save money? Or are they looking to build a business? Because business owners, they can either work in the business or work on the business. If they're in the business, they have to take their time, their money, their energy, their effort to do their own payroll, to do their own books, to do all that own, and that's fine if they wish to do that. But if they really want to grow the business, they need to get out of the daily grind of the production and look at where do they want the business to be in 5 years, where do they want to be in 24 months, how are we going to build the business so it's something more successful than just a job.
But if they're trying to be mean and lean, back up to your point, they say, well, why would I pay someone to do payroll, for example, when I can do it myself?
Well, I'll tell you why, because it makes a Hallmark movie then. Because George is right, and I love the way he said that. You're either working in the business or on the business. And, some of these Hallmark movies, you'll see like the wife is, stressed out at 12 o'clock midnight trying to figure out the bills and the pay and, all that stuff, the payables and the receivables, where, that's what George's company would do for you.
Yeah, and that's the idea. What do you want to do with the business? Are you looking to just get a job? Or do you want to do something different with it? What's your life want to be? What do you want to do with your life? Do you want to always have to be there every day? Do you want to take a vacation? Someone else doing that?
I should take more vacations, Tom.
Steve takes
more vacations, right?
A big bevy of
So I get a
There you
call
go.
last week from a young man that had a business, and he was in business, and he had with his sisters, and he.
Well, there's a first mistake.
Okay, well, and they were
With siblings.
and we had a great conversation. But I asked him some questions, and he wasn't sure. And it was the things we're talking about with the accounting. And I sent him to you, George. Okay.
Sure. I think you called. I haven't had a chance to call him.
Okay, I was like, you know what? Get your foundation set up, because they're talking about like marketing. I'm like, you're not ready yet. So get your foundation. How are you doing with your, like your corporate structure? I said, talk to someone, and he was going to go to the SBDC. Yeah, and I said, if you go up there, you're probably going to hear George, because George volunteers up there and talks. But so he just needed that foundation.
Yeah. And it's. Yeah, you don't want to go out and try to get a whole lot of clients if your infrastructure is not ready.
Right.
Because they're just going to be going out the back doors as quick as they're coming in the front door.
Isn't that the truth? And now what I was alluding to, as well as your taxes, and I don't know if people picked up on it, but you have a full what you call payroll service.
We do. Yeah, Payroll Made Simple is our payroll line. And what we also provide is not just the checks, but thoughtfulness. Clients will want to do something that maybe they shouldn't, and we'll say, "Are you sure you want to do that?" And have a conversation.
Wait a minute. So tell me more. Unpack that.
Well, clients are they going to pay this person 50 hours, no overtime, just for something simple? Are you sure you want to do that? They should be getting overtime. Oh, really? Or there's a variety of different things that clients will say they heard somebody doing, they want to do it, and we'll try to scale it back and say, you really maybe shouldn't be doing that. This is another alternative of something that will accomplish that. It's up to them, but we try to be helpful in the payroll. We have humans they talk to that they can always talk to. One of the challenges with a lot of payroll companies these days is it's really a software package, a great software package. Don't get me wrong, but you have to input everything yourself. Everything gets done. If you have a problem, you call up. You can't get a hold of anybody. And that's really what we do differently. Is we try to be our service is a big part of what we do, and try to support our clients to help them achieve what they want to achieve.
How many small business customers do you?
Depending on what you want to count with payroll, we've got a couple hundred. With our monthly accounting, about just a little over 100, 110.
Wow. Very nice.
Then tax.
You got to keep it manageable, right? Sometimes you might have to turn people away.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking to add to the team so we can add some more people.
Excellent.
too. So.
You ever get tempted? You see a good business idea and you say, "Geez, maybe I want to go into that business."
Oh yes, all the time. All the time.
Was marketing ever one of those?
No, probably never one of those. Steve. Never one of those. Never tempted.
George is smart. He stays in his lane right there. Gpowers.com. Gpowers.com. Check him out, folks. Wonderful person, wonderful people over at his place. George, thank you for stopping by. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Coming up next, we're going to talk with Jesse Lyons. He's the farm coordinator for Brady Farm. It's Onondaga Grown next on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back, folks. You found The Local Show with Tom and Steve here on 570 WSYR 1069 FM. And we're also on the video channel there called YouTube. Did you know I had the original idea for YouTube?
Get out.
I did.
Tell me more.
I did. I had this concept called Adverdoodle. I still had the name. I had the name trademarked and everything.
Really?
And this was before YouTube became popular. There was still a YouTube there. And I had this concept that wouldn't it be great if people, because I was always in commercial production, right, back at the radio stations. So I thought, wouldn't it be cool if people could click on a video about their favorite product, like say you wanted a Sawzall or a saw or a hammer or something, right? And you didn't know if it was good quality or whatever, and you could have somebody say, "Hey, I've got this, East Wing hammer, and it works great, and love the handle, love this, blah 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 blah. Pick up one today," and they do these little things, and they were just little advertisements.
That is what. So, Tom, I had an idea.
You did.
So this would have been late 80s.
Yeah.
Okay. That was when you buy something and you don't know how to put it together, and they give you these wild engineered.
Sure.
That make a video. This is when I said, make a video. Let me pop in.
Yeah.
How do I put this together? First, do this, then this, then this.
Sure. Well,
it was in the same space. Same space.
Right. And then I had all these people. We were having little meetings on it and everything like that. And just at that time, YouTube exploded. And I was like, well, YouTube's doing this. And I'm like, yeah, well, I missed that boat.
Yeah. And no other internet companies have succeeded since.
Goodness.
That's too bad. You should have kept going, Tom.
So anyway, we're on YouTube. You can see the show, and we can see behind the scenes. We got cameras all over the place, and check it out. It's at Zoey Advertising 3809, and
and subscribe. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, definitely like and subscribe. Right now, we're going to talk with Jesse Lyons, farm coordinator for Brady Farm. It's bradyfarm.org. Brady Farm, and that's BRADY farm.org. How are you, Jesse?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks you. Thanks you.
Thanks you too
for being here.
One of Tom's people. Thanks you.
Thank you. So, look, where is the Brady Farm?
We're located on the south side of Syracuse, right off Valley Drive, like north of 173. People assume we're south of Webster's Pond, but no, we're in the city.
Oh, you're right in the city. Okay.
Tom, do you have any history in that area?
Everything. My whole life was there. So, yeah, my Green Hills Farms was my backyard.
Yeah.
So when I was in shape, 113 years ago, I think that was. And
I thought you said 113 pounds.
Yeah, and that. There's like a 5-mile loop. It's around 5 miles. If you start at Green Hills, go down Salina Street, then come up Seneca Turnpike, then go down Valley Drive and do that whole loop.
Darwin, yeah.
Yeah, down Darwin. That's like a 5-mile loop.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. I don't do that anymore.
Just throw Green Hills in just to get the conversation completed.
I get tired driving that now.
Yeah. He'd stop for a blueberry muffin. It had 800 calories when he did that.
So what did you do before you got involved with the farm? You're a farm coordinator, and I'd like you to tell us what that is, but what did you do beforehand?
So immediately before I worked for Brady Farm, I was working for Cornell Cooperative Extension in Onondaga County. So I was managing their natural resource programs, which included an urban agriculture and community gardening program.
So do you have like a degree in something?
I do.
What's that?
Not related to agriculture.
Oh, no, it's not related. Okay. What's your degree?
She's a teacher. What are you?
Well, so I came to Syracuse and went to SUNY ESF. So I got my master's in landscape architecture.
Oh, but still, that's very related.
But it was related because my focus was urban agriculture and community gardens and urban design around that.
You have to be really smart. To make it through that course.
Sure, I'll go with that.
You didn't end up in broadcasting or advertising. Right. It's obvious.
Those were all the smart people went up there.
So what goes on at Brady Farm?
Well, so we are a diversified farm, obviously an urban farm, so we're pretty small. We have 6 acres, but in the urban context, that's pretty big. So we have mostly vegetables and a few fruits, cantaloupe, watermelon. And we grow year round, but we're an organic farm. So we use organic practices, a lot of sustainable practices. We're really focused on ecology and building the environmental health, but we also do a lot of public education and workforce training at the farm.
So next weekend, Farm Fest.
Yeah.
On Farm Fest.
On Farm Fest.
Yes,
On Farm Fest. People can come and see it, right?
Absolutely.
So tell people how to get there when it is.
Okay. So our actual physical address is 150 Ford Avenue, and it is just right off Valley Drive.
So to get there, go Valley Drive to...
So if you're coming from Seneca Turnpike, you're going to go north on Valley,
Okay.
and then take a right onto Ford. Otherwise, you're going to go south on Valley Drive, coming from South Ave.
Why can't I picture where that is? Is it near Ballantyne? Is it near? It is.
Just north of Ballantyne.
Okay,
It's
that's
between
why.
Ballantyne and Newell Street.
Newell Street. Yeah.
So I guess
okay.
if you're coming off the freeway, you'd probably take Newell Street and go down Onondaga Creek Boulevard.
Right. Okay.
Okay, and there's 6 acres of farming going on there. Any animals or is it just plant stuff?
Just groundhogs.
Groundhogs. Okay. Just the animals that you're not wish they weren't there.
Exactly.
Can you eat a groundhog?
I haven't tried.
Okay.
Let's call the Oswego County line, find out. Sorry, that was
goodness.
We don't take a shot of Oswego County every show. They feel left out.
Fair.
Yes, we want them in there. So tell us, have you been involved with On Farm Fest before?
Yeah, well, all but 1 year, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will you have any entertainment there or anything?
Yeah,
like that?
so we'll have some music. We have another event happening that's part of the Brady Faith Center at the same time. So that's been great because now we have horses, so we can have pony rides for the kids, and we're going to have some tours of the farm,
Right.
so people can really experience the whole farm environment. There's going to be a food truck.
So,
Yeah.
Okay, so it's next weekend, not this
The
week, not
16th.
today, but next weekend, the 16th, and it's what time?
It is from 10 to 3.
10 to 3. Bring the kids, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. And all these other farms are doing stuff too.
Yeah,
next
well,
weekend.
there's over 600 farms in Onondaga County, and a lot of them participate in on Farm Fest. So I believe Brady Farm and then Navarino Orchard. I just went by Navarino Orchard. That's really pretty. We played that gig out in Atisco. So we went past there. Emmy Farms, of course. Aniela's is wonderful.
Where's that?
Aniela's is out in Skinny Atlas.
Okay.
Gorgeous. And I was so disappointed they don't do weddings anymore. And I was out there for a few weddings. You know, I have a DJ company, so we were out there doing the thing. Wonderful place, though. So you can still go out there, drink the wine and all that. Dutch Hill
Maple, our friends.
Yes,
we know them well.
Absolutely. Crazy Daisies and Sunshine Horses, Shepherd Settlement, the Pumpkin Hollow, all participating where you can go. Because some of the farms, there's a lot of people who are participating. You know, they're Onondaga grown. However, because of what is it? I'm at a loss for the words. They have special rules, like if you have eggs or beef or whatever, you can't have people just
Like food safety regulations.
food safety. Right, that's it. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you can't walk in. They're like clean rooms for farms. You can't just say, "Hey, I'm here."
Right, we can't have hundreds of people walking through touching the eggs.
Right,
and
but all of
chickens.
those places, the Arm Farm Fest, you could look at that up online, the Arm Farm, and it'll list the farms and list all the stuff that's going on.
Absolutely.
You know,
That's wonderful.
But
so tell us a little more. Anything you want anybody to know about Brady Farm? All the.
Gosh, sure. I mean, there's a million things I can tell you
Okay.
about Brady Farm, but yeah, so we are a nonprofit farm. We're part of the Brady Faith Center, and our purpose is a little different than traditional farms because all of our farms really want to get food into our community, of course. But we're really targeting disadvantaged communities and where food isn't available in our immediate neighborhood. So you're not going to see us at the regional market because there's already a lot of farms there, right?
Right,
so
sure.
We try to show up in the neighborhoods and areas where there's not easy access.
So
to
Brady
food.
Market, we know the folks there. They've been terrific stuff, terrific food. Price is really reasonable, and if anybody hasn't been there, it's the old No Jams, Tom.
Yes, absolutely.
So right down is where that is, and so you support them, and we support them, and that's a great cause.
Yeah, we do a lot of collaboration with them. So they're helping to distribute food. Some of our work with them is not obvious. It's not necessarily on the shelf, but it's a lot of back-end distribution, working with other nonprofits and organizations who are trying to increase food access.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you for what you do and what all your people do. We appreciate
Thanks
that.
so much. Thanks
All
for
right.
having me.
Onondaga grown right there. Jesse Lyons, farm coordinator for Brady Farm, bradyfarm.org. Coming up next, we're going to get a little history lesson. Lisa Romano Moore joins us. She's the executive director of the Onondaga Historical Association right here on the local show on 570 WSYR and 106.9 FM.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
And we're back, and thank you for joining us. It's Tom and Steve on The Local Show, championing local business. And, I just did what I didn't want to do.
Which was rattle the paper with your notes like you always
rattling the papers is no big deal.
Okay.
It's the I do the Why? Why did I do that?
Better than like.
Yeah, right. Or like, yeah.
Or somebody says, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Those little figures of speech where they repeat themselves. Or no, my favorite is
You know.
Yeah. Tom.
The crutch words, man. There's a lot of them out there.
Yeah.
So,
do you ever find yourself doing those during a wedding reception?
No, and I don't talk a lot during the wedding reception. One of my big pitches is we let the music do the talking, and I've said that for years. Because the last thing you want at your wedding reception is somebody saying, "Yo, yo, yo, put your hands in the air." That's so 1981.
That was so funny and awful at the same time.
Yeah. How low can you go?
Right? Yeah. It's just not a thing anymore. Hey, we've got Lisa Romano-Moore with us. She's the executive director of the Onondaga Historical Association. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate that.
Glad to be here.
You guys got a lot going on over there. People can see the site. It's called cnyhistory.org, right?
Correct.
cnyhistory.org.
So what's new at being old?
Yeah.
What's new at being old? Well, we bring the old back to life. In October 8th and 9th, we're going to have our ghost walks at Oakwood Cemetery, always popular. And
that sounds scary.
It's not. It's actually during daylight because we don't want anybody tripping and falling. And,
right.
And our ghosts are hard to see at night. So basically what we do is we have people portraying actors portraying people from history.
Oh, right.
Often
that's kind of neat.
near grave sites that are connected to that story. Either the person themselves or the family,
like streets that we.
So you're actually learning,
correct? Which I like better.
Sure.
So streets in Syracuse.
Yes.
Well, if it's South Krause Ave, here's Krause. Well, this is
Krause,
I don't know. I'm making that up.
Yeah.
Or things like that.
Yeah.
This was a person, and that's why they did it.
Samuel May. So you have May Memorial Church.
Okay.
We've got some really wonderful.
Can you name a couple others that I don't want to put you on the spot?
Oh gosh,
Wilkinson.
Wilkinson was the first postmaster of Syracuse. Oh my gosh!
It's funny. It's like
Montgomery was a general. The street that we're on.
Nice,
but it's fun.
There you go.
Let's rail it in. When we were in Boston on one of my many vacations this year, Tom,
and there were a lot.
There was a Sam Adams grave.
Oh, right.
Which I found very interesting.
Yeah.
And you want to read him? Tell me more. And I know the name, and I know he was a signer of the guy. But yes, and there's the beer.
Sure.
But it's interesting historical.
Yeah.
Things.
We just did a thing about Solar Street, which isn't named for someone, but named for salt production. We did a huge project with the city school district. All fourth graders in the city schools came and learned about salt. But, a lot of kids don't know why we're called the Salt City. You don't really see much about salt making as much as...
Right. Is the museum down... I call it a museum because that's kind of what it is. Downtown at Columbus. Can I say Columbus Circle? Did I offend somebody?
It's actually St. Mary's Circle. But it's renamed Columbus Circle because of the statue.
Okay. You say so. So right there is where the big building is.
Yes, right in the middle of the block. We're kitty corner from YMCA. Mm-hmm. The museum is open to the public Wednesdays through Saturday. Or Sunday, I should say. And then we have a research center if people want to come and do genealogical research or look up things about their home, their neighborhood, their business, their grandma and grandpa.
Oh, nice.
Wednesdays through Saturday.
50 years ago, that was the library. What was that?
You're thinking of Carnegie Library.
Okay, so what was that building?
Our building was the main switchboard for the Northeast in the early 1900s.
For like Bell Telephone?
Bell Telephone, yeah. You can still find the switching equipment in our basement, and
That's neat.
And the reason it works for us is all that equipment, was pretty heavy. When you have archives and materials and, Gambrinus, who's about 3,000 pounds.
Wow.
You need floor loads that can hold all of that. The building actually works really well for us because of that.
And as I found out the last time we spoke, there are different locations, mini museums, if you will. Name some of the others where people can see things.
Yep. So we have staff at the Scano Great Law of Peace Center. Many people remember it as the French Fort or Ste. Marie among the Iroquois. We have the Bruseum up at Heritage Hill. That's our newest museum. But we also provide the information and the displays at the airport with our aviation history museum.
Favorite museum. That's my
fabulous.
favorite.
Yes,
it's a little hard to find because it's behind the waterfall there.
And I'll brag, when you see the little old lady playing the organ, that's my mom. Go behind mom.
Yeah.
And it's very spacious back there. There's a lot of...
It's huge, yeah.
You don't realize it. It's kind of hiding under there.
Yeah.
But it's amazing.
Yeah, we've got some great stuff.
Right.
And then we provide all of the displays and uniforms and materials at the War Memorial. Those are from our collection as well. We have an incredible clothing collection of not just military, but clothing from the turn of the century, Revolutionary War era. I mean, it's really
excellent,
pretty amazing stuff.
Would I be putting you on the spot if I asked you to maybe identify a hidden gem, maybe something that people don't know about this area, history, that, people go, well, wow, I didn't know we were famous for that, or that existed?
I think, that some of the manufacturing things, the things that were made here, everybody, I don't know that you get that kind of service anymore, but when you were a kid and you went and got your new shoes for school, your foot was measured on this funky metal thing that was sort of, about a foot long.
Yes.
And you'd put your foot on it. It's called a Brannock device. Yep. Charles Brannock developed it here in Syracuse. And as a product of his work, he left a tremendous fortune. He actually left the funding to the Central New York Community Foundation, and it continues to support this community to this day. Yeah. So, a lot of the things that were manufactured here, the serrated knife was invented here.
Really? I didn't know that.
The dentist chair.
The sound movie camera.
The sound movie camera.
Was in our old building, Tom.
Yeah, I remember that.
We were over there. That's where that was patented and done, right?
You've got Marcellus Casket, which was in this neck of the woods.
How about the typewriter people?
Typewriter, L.C. Smith.
Oh, L.C. Smith, yes.
And that was actually probably our earliest collection at OHA. Okay. We have a tremendous number of typewriters, some in foreign languages. There's a guy in Korea or Japan that keeps writing us and asking us if he can have that typewriter, and we're like, no.
Interesting.
Probably the most interesting thing that we have, which we actually don't possess right now because it's on loan, is everybody knows that picture of Frederick Douglass, the famous, that stern face, most photographed man in history for his time.
Interesting.
And the original daguerreotype, which is a plate. Okay. It's not like a film like you and I know. Is ours. It was given to us, and it's been in our collection for over a century.
Incredible.
And it is now on display at the Smithsonian at the National Portrait Gallery.
I'd be nervous moving that. Like, it's in the car. I don't know.
Yeah, well, you don't just send it FedEx. You have some people come and praise it, and it's pretty amazing.
Last 20 seconds or so, do you see any major changes coming along, like with new technology in the way that you display things, or is it pretty much the same history type stuff?
Yeah, we actually were about to develop an app that people can utilize to enjoy history both in our building but at some of our sites. And we'll be releasing that probably this coming year.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. That's Lisa Romano-Moore, Executive Director of the Onondaga Historical Association. Thank you for all you do.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome, and have a great rest of the day. Kicking off hour number 2 of the local show, we're going to have a conversation with Josh Lang. He's the pastor at Redeemer Church in Syracuse. Jennifer Covert stops by, Executive Director of North Area Meals on Wheels. And then we'll wrap things up with Joe Bright, owner of Duncan Bright Furniture. Stick around. Hour number 2 of the local show starts really soon.
It's The Local Show on News Radio 570 WSYR, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back and welcome in, folks. This is hour number 2 of The Local Show. Get ready for engaging interviews with Pastor Josh Lang from Redeemer Church in Syracuse. Jennifer Covert stops by. She's the executive director of North Area Meals on Wheels. And then we'll wrap things up with Joe Bright. He's the owner of Duncan Bright Furniture. Right now, it's our pleasure to bring back on the show Josh Lang. He's the pastor at Redeemer Church in Syracuse. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, Tom. It's good to be back.
Well, it's good to have you around. Did you get to the fair at all?
You know, unfortunately, we didn't. The summer got a little out of control there towards the end, and so my wife was a little disappointed. She loves the barns.
Yeah,
going through the barns and all the buildings.
See all the, animals.
Yeah,
and things.
yeah.
Did
your wife grow up on a farm, or what's the deal with that?
No. She just she likes it, and I think my kids think that stuff is the boring stuff of the fair,
of course,
and so they don't want to go there. So we actually talked about not taking them, but then our schedule got away from us.
So we had to go into the poultry barn because Nate, Nate is
Steve's son, by the way.
Not a fan of birds.
Oh no!
So like birds,
and he's in the Air Force.
Birds, birds like since he was little, birds like freak him out.
Right.
And I could show you a video of this rooster chasing him at Fort Ricky Game Farm. You know Fort Ricky Game Farm?
Yes.
There was this rooster he's like dad. So anytime we go anywhere, like we were in Florida once, and the roosters come up to the table. He just hates them. So I'm like, let's go in here, and we went in. Now they're in cages, so that created some safety. Yeah. But I find them. I was looking at them, and I'm like the build. They're so different. Yes. And I was looking at it and saying, God created that. But then he created this one slightly different. I'm like, that's so cool. Yeah. Why'd he do that? Is he showing off? Okay, I'll take that.
He likes variety.
Yeah.
How long have you been a pastor, Josh?
I've worked for the church just over 22 years. Mm-hmm. And I think my official licensing came in 2004.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now would you be considered an evangelical Christian? Or is that not a term that's used anymore? Am I back too far?
That's a loaded term.
Okay.
But yes, you know what I mean? Redeemer Church is non-denominational.
Okay.
And we're Protestant. Mm-hmm. And we would just believe what has been considered historically orthodox for the church.
Yeah. Do you have any friends who are Catholic?
Yeah, actually, I have relatives. Definitely.
Yeah. Tom, do you mean Roman Catholic?
Yeah, well,
because there's a difference.
Is there a difference? I don't know.
Well, the word Catholic means universal,
right?
So Catholic is Roman Catholic means there's a Roman Catholic Church,
right.
That's a specific denomination, if you want to call it that, which I guess it is. But
are there different rules? Like my wife is Irish. And so she's Irish Catholic, and I'm Italian Catholic or Roman Catholic.
Different traditions. If you've been to Central America, Roman Catholicism looks nothing like it looks here.
No kidding. So one of the big splits, and those who would the Orthodox folks would say go back even further, but we're talking about the Protestant Reformation and Martin Luther nailing the 95 Theses to the door, and that's where the big split between, in essence, Rome and the rest of the church came.
So what was Martin Luther so annoyed about?
Well, he was a monk, and he was concerned that the church, and Martin Luther didn't want to split. What he was concerned about is that they were not preaching that it is we are saved by grace alone, through faith alone, in Christ alone, to the glory of God alone. And so there was what folks would call like a works-based righteousness. So you have to, do this, you have to do that, you have to do that. And while they would say, yes, you have to put your faith in Christ, there's this Jesus plus addition. And so where the Protestants differ is we say, no, there's no plus on the end of Jesus. It is only by the grace of God alone, in putting your faith in Christ alone, that you are rescued from the wrath of God that is against sin that has come into the world.
I see. But would you also say to somebody that even though you're not saved by good works or good deeds, you have to be a good person, right? I mean, you can't be, shaving kittens at night and then, coming in and saying, well, I'm a Christian, I'm okay.
Well, here's a helpful way to delineate that, Mark.
Yes.
We are not saved by our good works, but we are saved for good works. So when you look at the book of Ephesians in the New Testament, what we see is that it says that it is by
grace we are saved.
Grace we are saved through faith, that not of ourselves. It is a gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast. And so, but if you go just a little bit further, it says that we were saved for good works, that our lives might reflect the glory of God. So if someone has truly experienced the grace of God, I mean, realizing that, hey, on your best day, there's nothing you can do to stand before a holy God. If you realize that even on your best day, you can't do that, and God, in his love, in his grace, sent his son to do for you what you could not do for yourself, that's an amazing thing. And you want to live your life differently because you've experienced that. And so the good works are an outworking of a heart that has been transformed and experienced the love and the grace of God.
Experience the gift, to your point, that really experienced the gift, and there's an outward sign of that.
Yes.
So how do you talk to millennials? There's a whole group, and I remember back in the 80s when the group REM came out with the song "Losing My Religion," and that's me in the corner, losing my religion, that type of thing. We got a whole group of people that are in their 20s and into their 30s who just are lost. So how do you bring them to Christ? How do you let them know that, hey, we've got a beacon over here, and let us show you the beacon without sounding uncool?
Well, I think
Josh isn't cool. Let's just get that out of the way. No, go ahead, Josh.
Or the church being uncool.
I think when you're talking to folks about faith, you have to help them to see that, hey, you are living for something. And you're putting your faith and hope and trust in something to deliver what you hope will give you the ultimate delight, satisfaction, fulfillment, significance, security in life. So, for example, I don't know if you've heard that song "Shallow" by Lady Gaga, right?
I haven't heard that one. No, that's a new one.
And what's interesting about it, if you don't mind, I'll just pull up my phone and put the lyric on.
Yeah.
I'm not going to play it, but I'll read it to you because I want you to think here. Is where are people putting their faith? Oh gosh, my
and that's an interesting question because and while you're looking that up, I will say that following trends and stuff, people are now more than ever into astrophysicism and all that. Well,
let's not even go that deep. But let's look at Gaga. I think Gaga really. Sums it up well. She says this, tell me, this is a duet. So a guy singing to a girl singing to a guy. So here's the first part. Tell me something, girl. Are you happy in this modern world? Or do you need more? Is there something else you're searching for? And it says, I'm falling. In the good times, I find myself longing for change. In the bad times, I fear myself. So now her part, tell me something, boy. Are you tired of trying to fill that void? Or do you need more? Isn't it hard keeping it so hardcore? And the answer to those huge questions of life is I'm off the deep end, watch as I dive in. I'll never meet the ground, crash through the surface where they can't hurt us, where we're far from the shallows now. And I think when you think about that song, I mean, Gaga picks up on the existential longing within the heart of humanity. And her answer, honestly, is shallow. Is just find love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just break through and dive off this deep end. And I'm telling you what, that's more of a risk of faith than putting your faith and hope in an actual person who lived, who died,
I'm just amazed
and rose
that
again.
he knows who Lady Gaga is.
Yeah, he's cool a little. Pastor Josh, Redeemer Church, located across from
Nottingham
High School, Sunday at 10. Come as you are, and wear shorts or jeans.
I don't want him to go. I was just getting going here.
That's okay.
All right. Coming up, thank you, Josh.
Hey,
really.
thanks for having me, guys.
Okay. Jennifer Covert's coming up next, Executive Director of North Area Meals on Wheels, right here on the local show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back into it again. You found it, the last bastion of great talk radio, here with Tom and Steve.
You're right, Tom. It is the last bastion of great talk radio because you said it.
It's the Local Show. Yeah, we champion local business and get people jazzed up about the backstories of a lot of the businesses that you probably go into. And you know what's right around the corner is
you're going to say like Christmas.
Yeah, well,
you always do that.
The holidays and the selling season. It's a very big. This fourth quarter is, you know, a lot of retail starts to happen. So we want to make sure that people know about local businesses all around town and get involved with that.
Fourth quarter starts October 1st, Tom. I know you can't do math.
I understand.
But it's the way it works. It's 12 months. You know, I understand that you're challenged like that.
Let's talk about something more important. I went to the men's room just before we came back on the air here, and I had got a new pair of underwear because, you know, I was running low. And
listeners, there's an advisory right now for small children and anybody with a stomach. Go ahead, Tom.
I said to the wife, you know, I like those Reeboks, and they're really comfortable. So I picked up a box of Reeboks, and I think there were 3 in there. And so I go to the men's room just now. Is this a long story? Yeah, yes, well, a little bit. I'll shorten it. So I go to the men's room, and you know what? I had to go to the bathroom. At our age, when you got to go, you got to go. Okay, so I go in there, and I'm trying to, you know, do my business, and there's no flap where the flap is supposed to be. Somehow I bought underwear that are completely solid. Yeah. And I was...
Do you know what they call us, Tom? There's a special name for it.
I don't know.
Women's underwear.
You may be right.
I'm just saying.
Well, it freaked me out, and I don't know.
Unless you went to Target. No, don't even start with me.
I don't know that you can see it on the YouTube channel, but now I have a big wet spot because I didn't know what to do.
All right. It's all downhill from here.
Yes, folks.
Hey, look, we have a guest. Why don't you introduce her, Tom?
Jennifer, how are you? Jennifer Covert.
I'm not sure how I am anymore.
Well, if you're going to shop for your husband, just make sure you get the ones that have a little flap.
Duly noted.
Yes. Okay. She's the executive director of North Area Meals on Wheels, and that's up in my neck of the woods there. And it's that area where there is no cell phone service.
Correct. That is every night I'm on the phone with somebody. Hold on. There's 30 seconds of deadness going over Church Street. I need one. And that's your fault. Did you guys kill the phone service?
It's not our fault, but I'm always defending it because everybody who comes in, they're like, your Wi-Fi is the worst. It's not us. I swear, if you go down the street, you're going to have the same problem. It's just the area. So I don't know if it's maybe the airport or I don't know what it is.
But there is a dead dropout zone right there.
Yep.
So you've been the executive director for how long over there at Meals on Wheels?
A little over 7 years now.
So that's a while.
A little bit.
Yeah. And you've had some challenges because you had to go through COVID over there, right?
Yes. That was probably the most challenging part of any career I could imagine. But on the other hand, it really did make us a stronger organization and some pretty good things came out of it.
Yeah, innovative. You had to probably innovate and do things a little differently.
Yeah, we were flying by the seat of our pants for sure. We had to try a lot of different things. We figured it out. It was stressful, but we actually got more volunteers involved because people were out of work and they wanted to help out. And we got a lot more clients. A lot more people are needier during those times.
So tell us what exactly the organization does and what the mission is.
Well, our mission is to feed the homebound folks in our area. I mean, mostly seniors, but also the disabled or anybody who can't make their own meals, can't get out to get their own meals. Yep. We deliver nutritious meals and we provide that wellness check, make sure they're okay. Because a lot of our folks are living alone and they don't have anybody. So we're that friendly face that shows up at the door and not only are we feeding you, but we're saying, hey, how are you? And, you know, that really does a lot for your mental health. And then we do the nutritional health. So we're keeping you healthy in all aspects.
So, and you're not just delivering meals that are like K rations like in the military.
No, sir.
Talk to us about nutrition and what these meals consist of.
Yeah, so there's a pretty big selection for the lunch. We have a lot of different sandwiches and salads. Everything is nutritious, but that doesn't mean it doesn't taste good. It's just anything that you would make for yourself. A lot of people like the tuna fish sandwiches and the chicken salad sandwiches, and then we have fresh fruits. And for the hot meal, there's a choice, which is awesome, because when I first started, you just got what you got.
Right.
And then after a couple of years, we did this choice menu where you could pick, do I want macaroni and cheese this day or do I want pizza? And then you could circle it so they have a little more say in what they're going to eat. But my favorites, when they're cooking my favorites, I'm always like, put a little bit aside, a little extra for me so I can.
So it must be good.
So if the staff and volunteers like the food, it's
absolutely,
good food.
yeah. We like to feed everyone. We don't discriminate. We feed the staff, we feed the volunteers, and we feed our people.
And it's for anyone who's experiencing being homebound, and you don't necessarily have to be a senior to partake,
Correct.
right?
Yeah, that's the interesting part. Most people think that just, it's for older people and you have to qualify, but really anybody could get Meals on Wheels. If you called tomorrow and you wanted it, you could pay privately and get Meals on Wheels. And it's very affordable, much less than if you were to go to the store and buy those items and make meals. But a lot of people qualify for different programs, subsidized programs, things like that. But yeah, I would say the majority of them are seniors. However, anyone can get them.
Are you still looking for volunteers?
Yeah, I think we're always looking for volunteers, but we're kind of blessed when it comes to the volunteer department. We have almost 300 volunteers.
Wow, just for North area.
Yeah, just for North area.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So people want to get in, and
they do. And once they're in, they don't want to go. They definitely don't, because it's fun. And especially the kitchen. We've got our scooper ladies, and they're like, you're not going to take my spot. I'm going to scoop every day. They love it so much.
My mom's friend Donna, I know she volunteers. And
yeah, she came in. I remember, because she knows some of our other volunteers, and they're just such a wonderful group of people. I'm humbled to be around them, because they're there because they want to be, not because they have to be, which is just a totally different environment for me.
Yeah.
And it's just nice.
So what would be one simple way where people could, I don't know, donate their cans, for example, to help support
their cans.
Meals on Wheels? Is there anything like that? Anything that could explain that?
I do like the story, because we started off doing a couple of these bottle drives every year, which a lot of people do. And and you can bring in a couple $1,000s probably a year. And then COVID hit. And nobody really, they weren't open to collect your returnables, but we were open every single day. So we put a big sign out saying, you can bring them here. And that turned into something a lot bigger. And then we decided we were just going to collect every day.
So these are not cans of food. They're like your empties. The empties.
Yeah, your recyclable bottles and cans.
Sure.
So I think that just a lot of people got used to bringing them to us. And now we have this, part of our building or back of our building where we collect every day. And last year we collected $25,000 worth of bottles and cans.
And this is people saying, I need to
Probably
take
more
those
this
somewhere.
year.
Okay, I'll get $5 or $10. Why not support somebody that helps feed people locally and things, right?
Man.
To me, it's the easiest way to give back. If you don't have the time, especially if you work and you don't have time, you really want to volunteer, but you can't. And how do I give back? And I don't really want to give a bunch of money. It's tough for some people. Bring in your bottles
and cans.
So they
can just, anytime they have it in the car, zip down Church Street.
Anytime, any day.
Don't talk on the phone when you're there, because it won't work. But,
correct. Don't call anyone. But
So right north Syracuse, kind of that shot between Taft Road and Route 11.
Yeah, if you take Church.
You'll see us. Actually, but if you go 81, you can see our building too.
Absolutely.
On 81. But
it's tough to drop cans from 81.
You could throw them over, I bet.
And don't drive off at that point.
Definitely don't do that. No. But you'll see there's a big sign, and there's like a huge receptacle in the back of the building.
And I know you're planning expansion, so that money goes towards that. And if you want to contribute, I know you guys are a not-for-profit, and you're there to help people.
We are. We just want to feed more people. We want to serve more meals, and we need to expand to do that.
It's still NAMOW?
Yeah, NAMOW.
NAMOW.
North Area Meals on Wheels.
NAMOW.org. So North Area Meals on Wheels.
Correct.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Jennifer Covert right there, Executive Director of North Area Meals on Wheels. You have a great rest of the day.
You too.
Joe Bright coming up next, owner of Duncan Bright Furniture, right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen, and that means you are too. Thank you for joining us. It's Tom and Steve on The Local Show. Steve, you hanging in there? You ready for fall? You autumnal equinox guy?
You asked a whole lot of questions there. Hanging in there, yes.
Yes, you are.
Ready for fall is fine. Fall is not my problem. It's what comes after fall that is my problem.
Right.
There's just nothing there for me. I am a little excited. I am rigged. I'm going to go chase some salmon here soon.
Very good.
I don't know when exactly because we're so flipping busy. We have a lot going on personally and in
I'll be
business.
up there. I'll be up there tonight.
Okay, there
I'm
you go.
Going up to the tailwater for a wedding reception.
Okay, you know what? You'll see some big tall guy falling in the river. It'll probably be me. I've got that going. And then when that kind of winds down, then the walleye come in, Oneida Lake and in the river and stuff.
Yeah, I'd like to do that with you.
Yeah, I didn't catch a lot of fish this year.
No,
part of the reason
you were busy on vacation.
No, the real problem is my wife. Let's be honest here.
She likes to swim.
Steve, you're live. on air at least.
But you know why I'm saying this? She doesn't listen to the show. So because she likes to go on the boat,
right?
But she wants to go where it's like protected and you have a place to swim. And the fish are like, we're not going here. This is protected. Then there's people swimming. So
right. You know what that is? You know what they call that? No, they call that a safe harbor.
Yes. What a transition, Tom.
It's a safe harbor.
That was fabulous. Funny you should mention that.
Yes.
Been hanging out with John lately, and some people know because we've said it before. John is certainly they're a client, but he's also my golf partner and a friend, and he's becoming a better golfer. Mm-hmm. And I haven't been, so it challenged me a bit. Right. But if you haven't done your stuff, like we're just finishing up right now, Judy and I were doing our stuff. If you haven't put the home in a trust, if you haven't set things up properly, it's not going to end well.
No.
In respects to where your assets are going. People say, well, I have a will. That's nice, which means you're going to pay 5% in probate. You're going to all these things you don't want to happen. When you get a plan, when you get people that know what they're doing, like the folks at Safe Harbor, it's just the way to go. And they ask great questions.
How do you get to them?
You get to them at safeharborwillsandtrust.com. You can also call them. They have a phone, Tom. They're in the big area code, 315-370-9977, 370-9977. Drop them a line out of the weekend. They probably won't answer an answering service, but just leave a message or go online and just say, hey, let's have a conversation. They're terrific.
Great. SafeHarborWillsandTrusts.com. Okay, Joe Bright's back on the show with us. He's the owner of Duncan Bright Furniture. How are you, Joe?
I'm great, Tom. Hello, Steve. How are you guys doing?
We're
very
good. You know, Tom, some people call him Joe.
Uh-huh.
Some people call him Mr. Bright.
Nobody calls me that.
I happen to know there's a new resident on the planet Earth that's going to be calling him Daddy.
Oh, yeah.
That's true, and that's my daughter.
Oh, you have a daughter.
She's a month old today. So,
what's her name?
Her name's Madeline. We're calling her Maddie for short.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, so she was born August 6th.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Tom. It's our first child, so we're new to it.
There's so many wonderful things that come out of it. It's when they start talking that everything goes to hell.
Yeah, so we have some time there. We're enjoying the time where
she's
just a baby.
So we were down at Jazz in the City, Syracuse Community Health is a sponsor of that, and I popped down. Joe was there with his bride, and she was oversized. Is that okay to say?
Ready to have a baby.
Goodness, I wouldn't.
No.
you. Now you know her too, so she can track you down.
That is fine. And she was just radiant.
Yeah.
There you go. That's more what we're going for.
In an oversized way. She was radiant.
She was.
And I dragged them aside, Tom. I said, I need to take, I said, trust me. I know you're doing 3. I want to take your picture. You'll thank me later. And they kind of looked at her stomach and kind of, they were goofy smile. And then what happened?
She went into labor the next day. So that's the last known photo of her pregnancy. So,
Fabulous.
Yeah.
That's
so
great.
we appreciate that you took that picture.
Yeah.
It was good to see you. That event's a blast. We had close to 1,000 people show up this year. So it's a free jazz concert we host down on the south side. And every year it gets bigger and bigger. And we love doing it. It's my favorite thing that we do all year.
Who do you put that together with in concert with whom?
CMY Jazz.
Oh, is that Larry Luttinger?
Yep,
or-
Larry.
yeah.
Yep, Larry and Steve Becker put the concert together. The Blacklights perform. They had some serious style. They had these purple, sparkly blazers that Steve said I couldn't pull off. But I don't believe them. I'm going to try it. So, but they did put on a good show.
They were outstanding. I was listening to them.
They're good. Yeah.
Joe, are you the official owner of all of Duncan Bright now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow, that's something else.
Yeah.
And you're a young man. You tell us
you.
tell us your background a little bit. It's a family business, generational. But are you the third generation, fourth, fifth?
So I'm the fourth generation.
Okay.
We've been around 96 years now.
Goodness
so,
gracious.
I bought the business from my dad in 2020 after a couple of years working underneath him. And then last year, 2022, we opened that store in Clay. So
That's beautiful.
So my dad retired in 2020. I've hired him back 3 times. So it can't get any more family business than that, where you have family members coming in and out. My brother helps us out on the real estate side of things because that's what he does for a living. So we've been around a long time, and I've got a great team that keeps us successful.
Well, you're so down to earth, and the stories that I would hear from other people who are older than me, even would say that they've done business with your dad, and they don't go anywhere else. They don't even check anywhere.
I'm so lucky that's the case.
Yes.
I get that every day in the store. People say my parents shopped here, I shop here. It's a generational thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't do much to deserve that except keep the doors open. So.
Well, and talking about down to earth, I have him on a text just because we connected with the show and everything. And my wife was on vacation, and we have a new island in the kitchen. And I texted him. I said, "Hey, you got these chairs here," and I sent him pictures of ones we took pictures of.
I'm sorry, Joe.
Yeah.
No, it's what I do for a living.
But this is it's what he does for a living. And I said, "Hey, man, kid, do you have these in the store? Would I be able to get them?" And he got them all ready for me. And he said, "Boy, they look great." And boy, I went down, and your people were just like, "Hey, they're around back here." Pulled up the truck, done. It was a simple transaction, easy. You've always got something on sale. There's something for every price point in that store, and I can't emphasize enough. I wanted to just hang out in the store in Clay.
Yeah, let me just summarize this for listeners. Let me just summarize this for listeners. Something we don't experience very often here at the local show is Tom smiling. And there's actually a smile in his face, and it's not because he's picking on me. So that's about culture, right?
Yeah, it is. And all your people were so helpful,
Well, thanks, Tom. Thanks for continuing to shop with us.
Yeah.
If we don't make it easy for you to get furniture from us, what are we doing?
Right.
That's what we go in and do every day. So, it's the best part of my day is helping people furnish their homes.
Do you ever get worried or concerned? Because I thought of something when I was walking through the store, how beautiful it was and how much inventory you have. Do you ever think to yourself, my goodness, if something doesn't sell, I'm going to be stuck with all this inventory here?
You know what? You find out in our business, is you mark it down enough, it'll sell. You got it. It's like it costs money to throw it in the dumpster. So you'd rather a customer take it out.
Right.
So you just mark stuff down until it sells. And somebody's going to find a treasure in our clearance section.
But you learn,
day.
and you have to buy stuff, and it's on a risk.
Yeah.
You're really buying. I think this is trending, and this should be popular.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you're right, and then I imagine sometimes things don't work out, or COVID hits, or who knows what.
I'm thinking about you're bringing up trauma.
That's what we do here.
It's mostly canceled orders. We do a lot of custom business, and for whatever reason, somebody's circumstances change. They change their mind. We don't hold their feet to the fire and say you got to take this sectional. But right now, every day I walk in, there's a bright yellow sectional.
Oh goodness!
Somebody said I want a bright yellow sectional, and I walk past it every day. It's going to be perfect for somebody.
But you're still.
I haven't found them yet.
Well, we'll get somebody off this show to come over there and grab that. Hey, would you mind sticking around? I'd like to still talk with you.
Of course.
Steve, you can leave, but that's okay. More coming up with Joe Bright right here on the local show. Stick around. 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
You found it. It's The Local Show, and if we're here, that means you are too, and we really enjoy you being here. We've been talking with Joe Bright, a local business owner, which is what we do here. We talk to local business owners and champion them. He's the owner of Duncan Bright Furniture, both in the, what would you call that?
Syracuse.
It's not the valley.
Syracuse. South side of Syracuse.
Yeah, south side.
Exit 17.
And then the north side, which is now, the Great Northern Mall.
And he's the proud owner of a yellow sectional, just to carry over from the last set. So I'm guessing there's an opportunity. So if you love yellow,
it's perfect for someone. That person is out there. I know.
So if they walk into, is it Great Northern or is it?
It's at Great Northern.
So you're gonna and I imagine it stands out.
It does. You cannot miss it. It catches my eye every time.
And what goes with a yellow?
Oh, geez, I don't know. Somebody's got a yellow room with the yellow walls.
Is it retro? Is it like retro looking?
The style isn't, but it looks like it's from the 70s because of the color. So a little mid-century modern is what we do.
Do you have any other furniture there?
I have so much, but somehow we're only talking about this one piece.
Right. And I was going to ask you about the financing. Do you provide financing as well?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yep. We do no interest financing still. So interest rates have gone up, and a lot of car dealerships or other retailers that offer no interest financing now do special interest, special financing with interest. But we've stuck to the no interest financing. It's a great deal. It's a better deal every day that interest rates go up. So
do you need people to sell for you?
We do actually. We're always hiring interior designers.
Okay.
Can't get enough of them. We used to recruit out of Casanova College. They had the best interior design program in the state, I think. And as we know, that's no longer a program. So we're always hiring interior designers.
So is that because yours don't stay?
Nope. It's because I just can't get enough of them. Half my staff are salespeople and half are interior designers. And we ask about people staying. I've got 6 interior designers that have been with us over 30 years. So
oh my gosh.
Yeah, they don't leave. It's just we're growing. We opened another store last year.
Do you get on the floor yourself anymore, or are you too busy running the company?
Definitely. That's the best part of my job.
So you really like to do that?
I try to get up and ignore my paperwork as much as possible. I go talk to customers. Yeah, that's way more fun.
So when you do that and they're like, we're not sure. We're going to think about it, and they leave. Do the other sales folks like, couldn't close that one, Joe? I mean, there must be a little fun there.
It's never happened.
He knows what to say. Make you feel right at home.
So you're a Parade of Homes thing, right? What's going on with that?
Yep. We partner every year with Mark Antony Home. Yeah. They built a house this year, and we furnish it. So we love to do it. Our designers love to do it. We furnish a whole house. It's kind of our showcase for us as it is for the home. And personally, I love attending the Parade of Homes. It's these beautiful homes.
It is great. Where's it going to be this year?
It's in Radisson.
Oh, it's at Radisson.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I haven't been to Radisson. That was my first apartment was in Radisson.
Was it?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they were the only ones who took dogs, and we had a little Cocker Spaniel.
Okay.
So,
nice.
we lived there for a while.
Yeah, there's bass in those ponds up there.
I'm sure, yes, there are.
Can you fish them? I feel like they would not allow
I don't know that you can fish them, but I have caught them.
Okay, all right.
You got to live there.
So I'm not 100%. Yeah, the Parade of Homes. So you go down River Road. It's like down that side, not the front entrance.
Okay, I haven't gone yet, but our designers have been there. I plan to go during the parade, actually, which is in 1 week.
How do the designers contribute to the process? Because do people other than me come in with a blank look on their face?
All the time. I mean, most people don't have an interior design background, so the reason we recruit interior designers is they can make 3D renderings of your room. I just did it for the home we bought. For every room, we send pictures to an interior designer with dimensions. She makes a 3D rendering, and we'll drop our sectionals or our dining room furniture in, so you can see how it would look before you buy.
Is that a free service?
Yeah, it's free.
Oh, okay.
So,
I didn't know that.
Yep. So
do you have to buy furniture?
Probably
helps.
So it's free with purchase. If you want just the package, we will sell a package. They're $75.
Oh, that's nothing. I mean, in the scheme of things.
Yeah, it's $75. You get a 3D rendering of your space. So,
no, when we had an office, one of our other offices, we tried to draw out some renderings. It's hard in 2D to go, how much space will that be and how does it look? And I know my wife cares a lot more about the way things look interiorly than I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not uncommon in relationships.
No.
So
obviously, she doesn't have discriminating taste.
Yeah.
Just look at him.
So
it may be in her home, with her furniture, she does.
So does when they walk into the restaurant? How about that?
Very
I'm
nice.
hungry. When
He
they
doesn't
walk
have a
into the
restaurant.
store, the lady kind of leads more often than not.
I would say women are the primary decision makers for most furniture purchases. Yeah, that's they're calling the shots. And
so trend wise, we live in a world where we're TikToking and trending on Etsy and all that stuff. Yeah. So what's new and exciting for coming into 2024?
Sure. So a couple of different things that are trending in our market. So. Amish is not a new concept. Amish built bedroom and dining furniture,
right?
But that beautiful solid wood furniture with some contemporary designs is new. They used to make traditional looks, mission looks really well.
Yeah.
Now we've got them putting brass hardware on things, on bedroom furniture, gray finishes that you wouldn't normally see from the Amish. So that has been really successful for us. Power reclining. People think about the recliner. They think about take the lever. I'm reclined, I'm not. Now you've got a button on the side. You can do power reclining with USB ports, wireless phone chargers all plugged into the chair. And then with mattresses, it's all about adjustable bases. My wife, when she was pregnant, every night slept reclined up in her adjustable base. It sits under the mattress and allows you to recline.
That's wonderful.
There's a ton of furniture options out there.
Yeah.
So feel free to be self-serving. Why would someone go to Duncan Bright? I mean, seriously, there's every other radio commercial, TV commercial, direct mail thing is furniture. Okay. Is it kind of the same stuff?
And you're competing with all the online people.
There we go.
The
Tom.
Wayfarers and all that.
It feels overwhelming.
Yeah, well, the number one reason is selection. We're New York State's largest furniture stores. Spend a lot of time, energy, and money acquiring the largest spaces you can find. So both of our showrooms are 90,000 square feet. I know on an e-commerce site you can see unlimited options, but you can't touch and feel those items. And you know what happens most often when you buy online from primarily e-commerce is a lot of times you get furniture that's smaller in scale than you think. Because it has to get through FedEx or get to you somehow, and the smaller it is, the easier it is to ship. So selection is number one. Second is we're the most aggressive on price on furniture. So if I just think if somebody sees the same thing at our place and the same thing at somebody else's store, I don't care that we're local or for any other reason. If it's me, I'm going to choose the place that's cheaper. So
that's a fair question. That's fair.
Second is price, and then there's the local tradition.
And the design element you mentioned earlier seems like that would be a big part.
Yeah. Yep. So we've got a lot of customers that come in. I just bought a house. It's a little bit overwhelming for them, and we've got interior designers on staff. A lot of the stores there's only one other store in the area that would have designers on staff, and we offer price points that are a lot more reasonable than they do.
And I notice when I lollygag through your store that people don't pounce on me, and some other places I've been, they pounce.
Yeah, like a used car dealership.
Yeah,
we don't do that because people hate it.
Yeah, right.
It just makes the customer want to tell you to go away.
We love having you in the community, and thank you and your family for being around for so many years. That's Joe Bright, the young Bright man, owner of Duncan Bright Furniture, both on Salina Street and up there at the Great Northern Mall, which is going to be great something else.
Mall. I'm going to,
Can't wait for them to get started and to see what Guy Hart does.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Joe. You have a great rest of the day, okay?
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Steve. Enjoy your lunch.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to wrap things up, Steve, and I got to get on up to that gig up there. So going to the Salmon River tailwater. The local show is brought to you every single week right here on 570 WSYR, Saturday mornings from 11 to 1, and then again on Sunday morning from 7 to 9. Listen together with a friend. It's more fun that way. Until next week, get down to business and keep doing business locally. Tell your friends about the local show right here on 570 WSYR, 106.9 FM, the iHeart Radio app, and on YouTube at Zoey Advertising 3809.